Hey y'all, and Happy New Year. It's the magical time of the year when you feel like we're about to become our best selves. We set resolutions like, I'm going to read more, work out more, exercise daily, or finally tackle my side hustles. And yet, studies show that 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February. Why? Because big dreams without systems are just that, dreams. As someone who juggles a full-time technology job, runs a nonprofit, and creates content, I know the struggle of sticking to goals while managing a busy life. Today, I'll share the history of New Year's resolutions, the science behind habits, and how technology can either supercharge your productivity or completely sabotage it. Plus, I'll show you how I use tools like a color-coded Google Calendar and AI to keep my life on track. Let's get into it. Where did resolutions even come from? Before we talk about how to stick to resolutions, let's talk about why we make them. The tradition of New Year's resolutions is over 4,000 years old, dating back to the ancient Babylonians. They used the New Year, celebrated in mid-March, to promise their gods that they'd repay debts and returned borrowed items. Basically, they invented accountability culture. Fast forward to ancient Rome, where Emperor Julius Caesar declared January 1st the start of the year, honoring Janus, or Janus. Honestly, Janus, the two-faced god of beginnings and traditions. Romans would make promises to Janus, hoping for good fortune in the coming year. Sound familiar? Today we've swapped gods for goal-setting apps, but the principle is the same, starting fresh. Here's some statistics to ground it. A recent YouGov poll found that nearly 30% of Americans set New Year's resolutions in 2023. The most common goals being health-related, 23%, and financial, 20%. Me and me. However, only 9% of people feel they're successful in achieving their resolutions. So, why are resolutions so hard to keep? It comes down to how our brains work. According to research from Duke University, habits make up about 40% of our day-to-day actions. That means almost half of what you do each day is on autopilot, drinking coffee, scrolling through social media, or even brushing your teeth. The trick to building good habits is hijacking this autopilot system. Enter James Clear's Atomic Habits framework, which breaks down habits into 4 steps. Cue, craving, response, and reward. For example, let's say your resolution is to drink more water. The cue is placing a water bottle on your desk. The craving is feeling hydrated. The response is taking a sip every time you notice it. And the reward? Better focus and energy and being hydrated. But here's the catch. Research shows that it takes an average of 66 days to form a habit. So, patience is key. Let me explain it. The brain's basal ganglia play a key role in forming habits. This part of the brain helps automate tasks, saving mental energy. But breaking old habits or forming new ones takes effort, which is why consistency is so important. So how can technology help or hurt our goals? Now, let's talk about the double-edged sword of technology. On one hand, tools like habit trackers, calendars, and productivity apps can help you stay organized. And on the other, distractions like endless notifications and doom scrolling can completely derail your goals. Here's a fun and terrifying stat. The average person spends 3 hours and 15 minutes a day on their phone, with 20% spending over 4.5 hours. That's a huge chunk of your day lost to Instagram Reels and TikTok trends. For me, the key is intentional tech use, especially as a content creator and someone who works full-time in technology. My color-coded Google Calendar is my lifeline. It helps me visualize my day and block time for deep work, meetings, and even personal downtime. I also use AI tools like Notion AI to help draft emails and organize nonprofit updates, and Otter AI for meeting notes. But here's the thing, I turn off notifications for non-essential apps and use tools like focus mode on my phone to block distractions during work hours. Digital minimalism isn't about giving up technology, it's about using it with purpose. Tools like Freedom or Focus at Will can help you stay in the zone by limiting distractions, giving you more time to spend on things that you really love and enjoy. Here's my personal productivity system. Let me show you how I make it all work. Number 1, color-coded calendar. My Google Calendar is color-coded by task. Technology consulting work is blue, nonprofit tasks are green, personal time is yellow, and content creation is pink. This helps me see at a glance where my time is going. Number 2, AI scheduling. I use AI assistants like Clockwise to schedule meetings when my calendar has open blocks, and Notion AI to generate reminders for follow-ups in emails. It's like having a personal assistant in your pocket. Number 3, habit stacking. This is where you pair a new habit with an existing one. For example, every time I open my email in the morning, I also review my nonprofit's weekly goals. So now you don't just have one habit, you're working on a second habit that becomes 2. Focus blocks. I block off uninterrupted time for big tasks like brainstorming content ideas or drafting nonprofit proposals. During these blocks, my phone goes on Do Not Disturb. A study from the American Psychological Association found that people who plan their tasks in advance are 30% more likely to achieve those goals. For me, planning is no longer optional. It is mandatory. It makes me feel less stressed and less overwhelmed, and it helps me see all of the open spots I have to spend time doing things that I love, like going to watch the Miss America finals tonight with the girls. So, how do you make 2025? So how do you make 2025 the year your resolutions stick? Here is the recipe. Number 1, start small. Focus on 1 or 2 goals at a time. Trying to do everything at once is a surefire way to fail. 2, track your progress. Whether it's a habit tracker app like Habitica or just a Google Sheet, seeing your progress motivates you to keep going. Small wins. Speaking of wins, celebrate your wins. Reward yourself when you hit milestones. It reinforces the habit loop and keeps you engaged. Finally, be flexible. Life happens. If you miss a day, don't beat yourself up. Consistency over time is what matters the most. So if you miss it for a day, make sure you get back on it after a break. Remember, oftentimes systems are greater than willpower. With the right tools and mindset, you'll be unstoppable. Systems come into play when you lose the motivation and even the discipline to get things done. Have those systems in place so you can rely on them. Resolutions are just the starting point. Habits are what carry you to the finish line. Let me know in the comments what's one habit you are building this year. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips on balancing work, life, and everything in between in your 20s. Bye!